I mean, will be what Sunday looks like. Pacers, if they win Game 7, I love that we're talking about a roller coaster. Would it be the biggest upset we've seen in a finals?
Yes, I think it would be.
Bigger
I mean, you can look to the Dallas,
bigger than that
Miami,
one.
which is obviously also Rick Carlisle, and he's been there before. That one went 6 when they won in Miami, but yeah, I think it has to be. And again, right now, as a basketball analyst, we don't think it's that big of a lopsided match because clearly it's going Game 7. The spread being 8.5 in Game 7 seems awfully high to me. But again, the resume of Oklahoma City, the talent of Oklahoma City, that is better than the Indiana Pacers. That clearly means nothing in the finals right now because they're playing harder, they're playing better. They're just, but they're young. They have their issues too. But yeah, I think on paper, for a whole 82-game season, what we saw, the Oklahoma City Thunder, there's a reason they were the 1 seed. There's a reason that they won that many games and had 2 All-Stars and had 2 guys on the defensive team.
Cleveland won a lot of games too, and they've been home for a really long time. Like I don't.
It has to be.
It's not as lopsided to me.
It has to be the biggest upset because it's got to be the highest spread, highest underdog.
So that if you're doing
numbers-wise, it has to be.
But it doesn't feel like.
We want to talk numbers, sure. But from a standpoint of both of these teams getting to the NBA Finals, it's only 1 or 2 champions. Alex Caruso and PASCAL SIAKAM are the only 2 champions involved in this whole thing. It was a lot more evenly matched than the 1-4 matchup that it was touted to be, and it shows in it being in Game 7. So is this going to be the biggest finals upset in history? To me, in my opinion, I don't think so. When that Big 3 went into Dallas, we thought it was no way that Dallas was going to have a remote shot at beating them, and Dirk Nowitzki pulled it off. In this one, yes, OKC was the favorite, but we also gave Indiana a puncher's chance.
And you said something a couple weeks ago. You said the seedings don't matter, which I totally agree with. Like, what are they? I don't even remember what the Pacers were. They were 4 seed. Yeah, like that doesn't matter. I think it's just the MVP and the multiple All-Stars, the multiple Defensive Players of the Year. I think all those kind of statistics that go in with this team.
We didn't even have him as the clear-cut MVP. We still debated that.
By the way, it's still up at SGA for the regular season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we still debated that. Yes, we know what OKC did all year, but as these playoffs went on and on and on, yes, Indiana was the underdog, but it wasn't this clear gap that we've touted it to be. And again, we're talking about upsets. Indiana was up in this series 2-1. They did enough to put themselves in the position. Every time that they needed to ring the bell, they've done that, and they've responded every single time their backs have been against the wall.
Yeah, I feel like I'm losing my mind sometimes because I'm watching them going, this doesn't feel that different to me. I know Boogie Cousins is standing by right now. We're going to bring him in because I do like the question. Would this be, hey, buddy, would this be the biggest upset?
What's up,
If the Pacers
Bug?
win this thing on Sunday, does it feel bigger than Mavericks? Mavs Heat?
I don't think it'll be the biggest upset. Honestly, I thought this was one of the most competitive playoffs from start to finish. I think Indiana is a team that was somewhat overlooked when it came to this playoff run. And they're also a team that, this is something that you don't really see often, but a team that continued to get better as the playoffs progressed. So to see them in this position isn't, a surprise if you paid attention to how much they improved throughout this run. And but at the same time, OKC, they've been dominant this entire year. They've also been a team that's continued to improve. But overall, I think this was a pretty, open playoffs. I think it was a fair shot for any team to reach this point. It was very competitive from start to finish. But I mean, I'm actually happy with the results. I like the fact that this is a Game 7 type situation. I think the best team will come out on top. And I think this is going to be the most exciting Game 7 we've seen in a while. So I'm actually happy with the results.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the highest bet was OKC in 5, and now here we are going to 7. Like that's awesome. And we're talking about the ratings are going to be bad, 2 small markets. This series has been unbelievable.
It's been a joy. What I don't want on Sunday though is anything resembling what was last night. Either way, like I just want a good Game 7 because I'll be damned if you make us wait days in between games just to come out and lay an egg. You guys were talking about it in the thread last night. If and we're doing a lot of ifs today, by the way. If the Pacers win, who are we talking about MVP, Lou?
I think it's Siakam's.
Okay.
I think he's been the consistent. He's been the guy that's carried them. You can make a case. You can make a case for T.J. McConnell. I know I would. If I had a vote, I would vote T.J.
Lou is like president of the McConnell fan club. I love it.
Listen, I am the sixth man. Who's gonna make a case for the guys coming off the bench and make sure they get celebrated than me? But no, I think it's PASCAL Siakam. He's been the best player in this series. I think T.J. McConnell, with what he's been able to do, he's been one of the most impactful guys with his presence and taking advantage of every minute that he's been on the floor, but it's definitely PASCAL Siakam to me.
Yeah, I agree with Lou. It's got to be. He's been the most consistent player, right? And as good as Tyrese has been, I feel like when you think of this finals, you think of that 0 field goal game, you think of the 4 points, and I think that's going to hurt his chances. You see there the odds, plus 350 versus plus 1,500. McConnell plus 11,000.
Do it.
Take it, Lou.
Do it.
Take it, Lou. Listen, but by the way, things could get weird here. If TJ McConnell, if they win and he's got like 25 and like 7 steals, like, it could get weird. It could get interesting, but it's Siakam's to lose for sure.
If that were to happen,
you're not going for that, Boogie.
Boogie's made history.
Not even a little, not like a half a fraction, nothing.
No.
All right, who do you got?
I think it's Siakam hands down. I think this is one of the main reasons they brought him to this Pacers team. His veteran presence, his experience. He won a championship at Toronto. I was on the other end of that, and he performed well against that Warriors team I was a part of. So this guy's been here. He's done this before. He's comfortable in these type of situations, and he's showing it on a nightly basis. So for me, Siakam is the clear-cut favorite. If they so happen to win this series, I do still feel OKC pulls this series out. But let's say, the Pacers do win it, Siakam is the clear cut for me.
That building on Sunday is going to be...
The building last night was great, too.
I do want to piggyback off Lou. When it comes to T.J. McConnell, I think when it comes to him, I think it's bigger than, this run, the playoff run he's having. I think he's the perfect example for these kids growing up, that love this game. He's a professional. He's not the most athletic guy. He's not the tallest guy. He's not the fastest. He's not the highest jumper. But he's a professional. He's always ready.
He could have just said he's white, but
doggone it, he's good enough.
But I do want to give McConnell his flowers. I think he's the great example for the kids. That's the type of player that
us. He looks like a person that I like. I look like a lazy person. I could maybe be TJ McConnell.
No, because no matter how this thing goes, TJ McConnell is a legend in Indiana.
Oh.
He's found a home. He's found a base. He's found a place that the rest of his career he can go back there and be celebrated and be championed, and that's what we all really want.
But isn't that why Steph was such a big deal when because people would look at him, like little kids could look at Steph or TJ McConnell in this case and be like,
kind of see
it
themselves.
could maybe be you.
They're a little.
No, they're very different. But it's the appearance.
She's saying basically they're more relatable. They're more relatable.
Like Boogie, I'm not gonna look at Boogie Cousins and be like, I totally could pull it off.
Yeah.
Like never.
TJ McConnell looks like my accountant, and he's over here rising up mid-range pull-ups on guys that are 6'7". It makes no sense to the eye.
None. I kind of love this for him.
It's awesome. It's unbelievable.
It's been a really good story.
And it keeps doing it every single game.
I know. We thought last night, we're like, oh, no, we didn't have to do anything last night differently. The thing about this that I find interesting as well is we've spent so many years in this league, big three, and then you got to have big two. You got to have. It's all about the bench. I don't know if this will be a trend that continues, that maybe teams look and say, we need to start making sure our benches or something.
Well, I think that has always been the approach.
Yeah,
but what happens is you don't get the production out of it that you want, because sometimes great teams, they know how to minimize the guys that are going to come in off the bench and do that. We were just talking about Miami and Dallas. Think about what Jason Terry was for the Mavericks at that time. Like, so we've always had that, but we've never seen it on this stage, and a guy has such an impactful presence on offense and defensive end. Like, we know what T.J. McConnell was going to do on defense. He's always been scrappy. He's always been one of those guys to get up under your skin, to be able to steal the ball on inbounds. But offensively, he's been able to score the ball. He's made defenses play him honest. They can't help off of him. They're sliding under screens. He's making them pay. He's beating guys to their spot, rising up for 7 to 8 foot jump shots. All of those sneak drives on the baseline. Like, he's having a hell of a run in this postseason for a bench player that's not even considered a six-man of the year type candidate. Yeah. He's not considered one of those type of guys. But every time he steps inside the lines, he's made the most of every minute that he's played.
And I feel like there's a balance to it, right? Because I feel like you obviously want the luxury of a bench, but then in the playoffs, you always hear about the rotation shortening it. Look at Boston last year. They played like 7, 8 guys. Even Denver didn't have the deepest team. Milwaukee, when they won, didn't have the deepest team. They had great 6, 7, 8 man. These two teams go 9, 10, 11 deep. So this is rare that we see it, and it is next man up mentality. And as good as the tops are for both of these teams, their benches come in and they have immediate impact right away. Whether it's Obi Toppin or TJ, whether it's Wiggins one time or Alex Caruso one time, they have so many guys that can affect the game in so many different ways on both sides. It's sad one of these teams aren't going to win because they both deserve it.
I know, it's a little bit odd. Does it change it? I mean, look, there are coaches out there we know that are never going to really change their philosophies. But so many times I think we look at games as, all right, well, if the bench guys are in, all you have to do is tread water and try not to let it get out of hand, versus embracing the bench like, nope, this is still time for us to be scoring and be offensively minded. So do you think at least 1 or 2 teams out there, Boogie, are watching this finals and going, let's try something a little bit differently moving forward?
Absolutely. We all know this is a trendy league, and usually the team that wins or becomes, a team that goes on runs of winning championships, the league starts to copy. It's a copycat league. So, and it makes sense to do so. If you find a team that, finds this formula of success, why wouldn't you try to, copy that same formula or try to apply it to your own organization? So I do think that's something that will start being applied to the league. And I think it's more so about creating good teams. We're getting away from the big threes, the big twos, and, that type of, creation when it comes to having a team.
The super teams,
I think it's more so about chemistry. I think it's more so about camaraderie. Guys that enjoy playing with one another, guys that are selfless on the floor. And I think these two teams are great examples of that.
Boogie, answer me this. So a guy who hasn't been talked about much in the finals is Myles Turner. He's the big free agent for the Pacers this year. Win or lose this finals, is that a priority to re-sign him? There's rumors that he wants max money. Like, he hasn't had the best finals. What do you do if you're Indy?
You have to re-sign him. After the success you had this season, you have to. Myles has been a staple in that organization for a while now. And I also want to give him credit. This is a guy whose name is in trade room with every single Eagle. He still comes in. He's a professional. He comes out. He gives 110%. His impact, the way he celebrates his teammates, he's a great. He cheers for his teammates. It's not always about the numbers for him. One of the best rim protectors in the league. So I absolutely think Indiana should re-sign him, and I think the ball will be in his court as well in the offseason. If Indiana does decide they don't want to give him max money, I'm pretty sure it's a team out there that's willing to do so.
Yeah,
I think the ball is in his court.
Yeah, he hadn't been great in the finals, but honestly, who has on Indiana? They've all had some type of struggles at some point in this finals. Throughout the course of the playoffs, though, in every round, he's been effective. He's been productive for this team. And again, when you get to the Game 7 of the NBA Finals with a team that's built like this, max money, obviously, that's business. But from a basketball standpoint, you got to give Myles Turner another look. And what Boogie just said, he's one of the long-term guys that's been there. So for him to see the tide turn their way, and then they have an opportunity in 48 hours to possibly win an NBA championship with him being there, everybody has had their struggles in the playoffs, including Myles Turner. He has another opportunity to right this ship and have a big Game 7, and we'll put this conversation to bed. But as far as the money go, I'm sure they'll figure that out. But from basketball, you have to have a look. You have to keep this guy on your roster.
Yeah, and especially, again, win or lose, you took this team to 7 games, and they have a chance. They put themselves in a situation to win the NBA championship. And he's a huge part of it, whether he's not having the best finals or not. Defensively, what he does, impacting, blocking shots, rebounding, pick and pop threes, spreading the floor. He is the ideal, perfect 5-man right now. And there's a lot of teams, like Boogie said, Like, you don't think the Lakers would love this guy to throw a bag at him? Like if the Pacers don't want to re-up? So, like, I think he's put himself in a great position for a huge payday. And Boogie also said, he's one of those guys that he's been in trade rumors, I swear, since he's been in the league.
Tenured Pacer.
So reward him, pay him. He's a huge part of your team.
Can we look at the James Johnson video together as a family? Let's talk about it. Little finals memory, little core memory made last night. Ejected for that, huh?
Yeah, he threw a little baby punch right there at the end. That's what did it for him. I wonder what happened right here because he didn't do nothing to you, JJ. Why you tripping?
He just got in. Like, what happened?
Dylan Jones is a young player, but he knows who James Johnson is. You don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke.
You got a double standing O.
There must have been something earlier that happened.
I honestly don't think it is. I don't think nothing happened before this. I think JJ just wanted to get off one time. I think he just wanted to throw his hands one time.
Got a lot of adrenaline.
I didn't see anything that happened before this. You know what I'm saying? But listen, everybody got a reputation to uphold, and so while I'm out here, I'm gonna make sure mine's steady. I'm gonna make sure my reputation is sturdy out here, and I'm gonna give me one off.
A reminder? I don't know. By the way, he did get a double standing O. Like, it just goes to show.
That's what he's there for.
It.
For sure.
Yeah. Look.
That's just a vet leaving his mark, man.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a vet leaving his mark.
Fans were just excited about the entire thing.
JJ ain't played all playoffs, man. He probably was breathing a little hard, so let me get up out of here. We still got 2 more minutes left. Let me go and get up out of here.
It's too much. Here's the thing. I've already mentioned it kind of, sort of, is what I'm worried about for a Game 7 is because when OKC lost Game 6, they went and beat Denver in Game 7 by like 30 points, which is not, it's anticlimactic, right? And Chandler, I'll start with you on this one. Are you leaning more towards we get one of those, or are we going to get an actual exciting game down to the wire?
I think it's going to be a good game. Like I said, we're talking about the spread 8.5. I think that's a lot. I think Indiana has showed they have the fight. You know, they have the resiliency to kind of overcome everything. They've been underdogs in damn near every series, every game this playoffs, and people. They use that as motivation 100%. But now, again, it's not even about that. It's not about the odds. This is 48 minutes to win a championship and to do what we did last game, and that's play physical, force turnovers, make them make shots against us. And, again, they shoot the ball a lot better at home. It is going to be tough. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I think it's going to be competitive. You got to figure SGA is going to be better. He's not going to turn the ball over 8 times. That was the most in his career. J-Dub plus minus, love it, hate it. He ain't going to be minus 40. So they're going to be better. They have to make some sort of adjustments, but it's just going to come down to the will and who plays harder and who makes shots, and they both are capable.
Listen, throw all narratives out the window. When you get to Game 7, what are predictions anymore?
Doesn't matter.
What are predictions anymore? It's gonna come down to what team plays a better 48-minute game. Is this guy gonna do this? Is this guy gonna do that? They've done everything that we said they weren't gonna do at this point. Both teams, both sides have done something that we considered them not to be. We looked at SGA play bad. We've seen Tyrese Halliburton play bad. We've seen SIAKAM play bad, and so on and so forth. Game 7 is all about which team can limit their turnovers, limit the mistakes, doesn't give up. Listen, Indiana had 18 more shot attempts than OKC in this Game 6. That is a big gap in the game. Yeah. You gave a team 18 more opportunities to beat you. The assist-to-turnover ratio was there. You gave them too many opportunities. All of these teams are going to shore those things up. It's going to be a physical game. They're going to damn near want to fight like James Johnson just did. It's going to be everything that you can imagine for one. Yeah, the underdogs and the seeding, everything is out of the window. It's going to come down to which team wants it more and who's going to limit their turnovers and shoot the basketball better to give themselves a chance to raise a trophy.
One game for all. All right, so wait, are you guys all okay seeing this thing? Is that where we are?
We've been riding them all.
I'm going with the home team, OKC, but and that is the reason. I'm giving them the edge because they are on their home floor and they've been incredible on their home floor all season.
And this was so bad. Like, they scored 60 points, I think, in 3 quarters. Like, this was so bad. I think they're going to make extreme jump here. It's, again, Game 7, everything on the line. I think we see the best version of them. And, yeah, I think Oklahoma City gets it done.
Boogie? You already said you're doing it.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my original. I'm putting my mouth where my money is.
Guess what? And at this point,
it's also not a bad bet. Yeah.
I don't blame.
I'm not touching that 8.5 though.
Oh no, mine's just outright winning the series. That's where my money. I just want to see if I can get that. Boogie, don't go anywhere. We're coming back. We got to talk vaping. I can't believe I can say that out loud with Boogie Cousins on the other side.
You lock it up.
I don't know what they're doing.
Run it up, the running back, run it up.